Welcome to For Your Life, a showcase of information, products, and tips to help you manage your busy lifestyle. I'm Stacey Engelhardt. On today's show, we'll focus on lifestyle, technology trends, planning for retirement, and buying a home, plus elegant but simple recipes for your family. Jocelyn, a mother of 3, recently learned her son Cal was sensitive to gluten. Here's how she transitioned her family to gluten-free living.
Cal's always been a very active child. He loves going outside and playing on his bike, loves going out and playing with his brother and sister, is outside all the time. And about a year ago, all that changed. And after a few doctor's visits, we finally found out he had a sensitivity to gluten. The biggest challenge was finding foods that were safe for Cal to eat and foods that he would enjoy to eat because he doesn't want to eat something separate from everybody else. I did some research and found Rose Reisman on the internet and connected with her, and she was able to meet with me and give me some tips on where to start. Rose, thanks for coming today. I'm so overwhelmed with this diagnosis. I don't know where to start. It seems like gluten is in everything.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. I mean, first of all, let's take a look at bread. So you've got gluten bread, the pasta, semolina pasta, anything you buy that's got crackers or cookies. Now, people don't realize that even soy sauce has wheat in it, or salad dressings. It's just everywhere. But the good news is that I'm going to take you through the foods that you can eat, and there's plenty of them.
I was amazed to see how many foods actually contain gluten that I've been serving the family. I was also amazed to see how much choice I have with new products that are gluten-free. So what should I focus on when feeding the family?
Well, first of all, fruits and vegetables. That's just healthy. So keep the veggies, the fruit always out for the kids. That's fantastic. Then you want to go to anything that doesn't have gluten in it. So for instance, rice cakes, rice crackers, different blends of rice. Hummus, beans are great because they're a source of protein as well. But you may have noticed I've brought a lot of packaged foods here today, and this is going to make your life really easy. These are called Pillars Simply Free, and they're a great product because there's everything from pepperoni to ham to back bacon to sausages. They're allergen free.
Pillars Simply Free is great because I can make one meal that everyone's going to enjoy, and I love the fact that it's all natural.
A parent that has a child with a food allergy is very concerned about the food being safe. So it's not only gluten today, it's all the other allergens such as milk, eggs, fish, soy, sulfites, nuts, tree nuts, even seeds like mustard seeds and sesame seeds. There's a lot for a parent to be worried about.
And what can I do with all this?
Well, first of all, ready for breakfast?
Yes.
Okay, so let's have a great quiche. So here we've just thrown in some ham into a quiche, but you could do it in an omelet, in a frittata. So outside of just having the food allergies, parents got to be concerned about taste. I mean, children want a tasty meal, and if a mother has 4 children or 3 children, she doesn't want to be preparing 4 different meals. And then this is one of my favorites. It's a Mediterranean quinoa salad. It's an ancient grain, but what's wonderful about it, it's one of the few grains that's gluten-free. So in there, I've just added all the Mediterranean flavors, feta cheese, olives, tomatoes, and to top it off, Pillars Simply Free deli turkey. Jocelyn's story was so typical. You know, a parent gets the news that their child has an allergy. They get overwhelmed. They look at all the foods they've been serving for years and just say, now what am I going to do? And then they have to come up with an action plan. What foods are there out in the stores now that are safe to serve their kids, that are gluten-free?
I'm looking forward to making some of these dinners tonight. I feel relieved that I've met with Rose and I know I have all of these choices and products and that I can make one meal that everybody's going to enjoy.
Recipes we've featured and more are available at pillars.com.
Have you ever wondered what could happen to your savings in the event of another economic downturn? Is your money protected? What if the bulk of your savings is in another currency or country? Jim and Sue Beatty recently dropped both of their children at university, daughter Sydney here in Canada and son Sandy in the US. As thrilled as they were at Sandy's acceptance into an Ivy League college, they were left with questions about how they'd manage his expenses and education savings. Here's their story.
When we met, You were sailing quite a bit at that time at a very high level because you were on the Olympic team. When the kids came along, it became logistically challenging to maintain the family life that we really wanted to have for both of us to be, going out the door and racing all the time.
We had large sailboats which we could bring the kids on for sleepovers, allowing us to enjoy sailing, but do so within the boundaries of a family activity.
It's going to be a nice day. I don't know if they're going to get enough breeze out of racing. Differently from the concerns I have with our daughter who's living in London. She's living away from home, but she's in the same country. We had a few more concerns about how this would work for our son because in reality, he is living in another country.
He had a passion to go to the U.S. Really in grade 7. We knew a number of the sailing coaches at the universities in the United States personally. I had sailed against them on many an occasion.
Once Sandy decided to pursue sailing, that became the way to go for him. With regards to his bills and things like that, we pay those from here because we felt more comfortable keeping the money here in Canada where we know that it's insured. So that drove our decision to keep the funds in Canadian dollars and allow our son access to that through his debit credit card that he uses in the United States through any ATM. One of the things we also need to think about, and we have discussed quite a lot recently, is our own future and our own plans.
We're just at the stage now of recovering. As our kids have gone to university, we'll start to find out what we want to do together. This is sort of a new topic for us that we're going to have a bottle of wine and discuss more extensively, for sure.
With me from CDIC is Michelle Bork. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Pleasure.
Now, Jim and Sue knew about deposit insurance, but many Canadians don't. Why is it important?
Well, many Canadians come to a point in life where protecting their savings is more important than making more money. That's why deposit insurance is important. So for instance, the couple that we just saw, for them it was really important to know that US dollar deposits are not insured.
What is the best way to find out about deposit insurance?
Well, learning about what is covered and is not covered is a really good first step. So reaching out to your financial advisors, they are really well positioned to give you advice on how to protect your savings in the event of a bank failure. Of course, you can contact CDIC, visit our website, you'd find there all the information you need.
Now, can the bank system actually fail? I thought the Canadian banks had weathered the storm of the global financial crisis.
Indeed, our banking system did weather the financial crisis, but the reality is banks can and do fail. Since CDIC was created, we've had 43 failures. But what's important is that the 2 million depositors that were affected, none of them had lost $1 of their insured deposits. So that's really demonstrate how deposit insurance is important. So for your viewers, I would encourage them to learn more about what is and is not protected.
Well, thank you so much, Michelle. It has been very informative.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Now, it is important to make informed financial decisions. To learn more, go to cdic.ca. Sometimes your favorite recipes need a makeover. If you think outside the box and look at new ingredients in different ways, you just might like what you find.
Looking for fresh new ways to shake it up in the kitchen? Here's an idea that's quick, nutritious, and full of flavor. Use grapes from California. They're a convenient and refreshing snack anytime and anywhere. Beyond snacking, fresh grapes are easy to incorporate into recipes because they're always ripe, ready to use, and can keep in the fridge for up to 2 weeks. They're also a great frozen dessert alternative. Liven up some of your old favorites by adding crisp, fresh, sweet, refreshing California table grapes. A versatile ingredient, use them in sweet and savory recipes. They make salads more fun and colorful and add a whole new twist to chicken, turkey, or tuna sandwiches. The natural sweetness of grapes is a great addition to smoothies, whether for breakfast or a quick afternoon snack. Grapes really are the one ingredient that can change everything. California table grapes are available at your favorite grocers until January. To learn more about California grapes and recipe ideas, visit grapesfromcalifornia.com.
For many of us, mixing technology and decor into our home can be a challenge, but with the right colors and some savvy tricks, any space can look beautiful.
I'm Leanna Lair-Perot, and I work as a designer in Toronto. Over the past 10 years, I've been immersed in the ever-changing world of design. It's pretty busy balancing my work life with my family and kids. I spend most of my time working from home, and I know that designing an office space can be a challenge. Balancing fashion and function is a must, and you always need to account for all of your tech. All-in-one printers have typically been big and bulky, and they certainly haven't added to a room's design aesthetic. So I was super excited when Canon recently released this new line of Pixma printers. To me, they're more of an integrated accessory than hardware, just like an accent lamp or a throw pillow. They come in 4 colors that are in demand and on trend: red, white, black, and brown, which helps them blend into your decor and not stick out like a sore thumb. This printer is not only a visual asset for this space, but it's also one of the tools that I rely on for most of my interior design work. I create style sheets for my clients so they can better visualize the spaces I'm designing, and I also created these on the printer. When I'm delivering a client presentation, quality and color accuracy are key. And I know this might sound a little geeky, but I am so thankful for this app. When I'm out doing errands, I can actually check the ink levels on my phone. So if I need to, I can pick up a new cartridge. It also lets me print from anywhere in the house over Wi-Fi. I'm working on a project right now, and my clients can't quite decide what accent color will best suit their taste. So I've created these style sheets to help them. I tell a story through colors and pictures, and then I make the story come to life. Rooms with red accents really call out that you're bold, confident, energetic, and adventurous. The red is totally my style. Here's the black. It offers a very sophisticated, sleek, stylish, and refined look. Here's the last option with the white printer. The look is clean, modern, and refreshing. It fits seamlessly into the overall design and is exactly the feel that my clients described. Their space will have some of the family's photography to add a personalized touch. And using the printer's app, I can actually print photos right from my device. My client emailed me these shots that she took on her vacation recently, and they're going to go in her office space. Here, I select and save them, open up my app and pick the ones I want. Hit print and here we go. The photos are on their way. I can even print photos directly from Dropbox, Flickr, Facebook, and Twitter. This app can come in handy at parties too. I can print mementos right on the spot for my guests. Now let's go take these to my client. My client decided on the look with the white printer, and just look at this beautiful space. The mix of white and brown is so crisp. The white is fresh, modern, clean, and optimistic, while the brown adds warmth, tradition, and a relaxed, down-to-earth feel. This is the office nook in the kitchen, and the white printer was the perfect choice for the space. The prints that my client sent me are going right up here over the desk. This printer creates photo lab quality prints, and you can see that the results are outstanding. The images are crisp and the colors are vibrant. And for a different look and feel, simply change out the photos. It's the perfect place to pay bills, answer work emails, and a good spot for keeping an eye on your kids while they're browsing the web. My favorite part of the design process is adding all of the finishing touches, and sometimes it's the smallest details that make a space really come to life. Fresh flowers, the right lighting, and even integrating everyday technologies in a unique way. No matter how you choose to design your space, remember to live colorfully with Canon.
Canadians love their smartphones. A recent study conducted by Google found that almost 80% of respondents don't leave home without it. The reliance on these devices has really integrated into our daily lives. Shopping, banking, and now even protecting our homes can be done by the click of a button.
There are over 26 million cell phone users in Canada. That amounts to 74% of the population, and with more than half of Canadian adults using smartphones, we are now enjoying the freedom to do much more than just make phone calls. Most of us never leave home without our smartphones. While on the go, you can check emails, social networks, current news, and even bank account statements. And the latest trend when it comes to smartphones is full control security. When you think of traditional home security systems, you likely think of protecting you and your family from intrusions or fire. But smartphones make full and remote control over your security system, video surveillance, and home automation easy. In simple terms, this means you can keep a handle on your home while on the go, lock and unlock the door when your kids come home or when your cleaning lady has left, arm and disarm your system remotely just in case you forget, and get alerts to keep your children and home safe. The ability for interactive services to provide video allows homeowners to check in on surveillance cameras and live video feeds anytime, anywhere. For example, to see whether their kids made it home safely or to check on the babysitter or cleaning staff while they're away. As the popularity of smartphones and web-enabled devices continues to rise, so does the movement toward full control security. Canadian security company Reliance has seen increased interest in their interactive suite of services among new and existing customers, thanks in part to home automation, which adds another element of convenience above and beyond the aspect of safety. In fact, some full control security systems allow homeowners to set the temperature of their home from a smartphone or any web-enabled device. And with live temperature monitoring, homeowners can reduce their energy consumption by adjusting heating or air conditioning when necessary. They can also control their lights from a distance or based on expected comings and goings. Reliance has a wide range of information and solutions for security control, video surveillance, and home automation available on their website.
According to Statistics Canada, home ownership is at an all-time high, but many Canadians are spending more than they can afford. If you're looking to get into the market, some sound advice from the financial experts at Genworth Canada is to save a larger down payment before you buy.
My name's Megan, I'm 23 and I work in banking.
And my name is Steve, I'm 26 and I work in broadcasting, and we purchased our home in July 2012.
We wanted to buy a place because Steve and I were living in his father's basement and he was about to sell, so we wanted to make an investment instead of renting a house.
So our main concern was money, and our first priority was that we had our down payment and our savings in order.
The first piece of advice I would give first-time home buyers who are looking to save for a down payment is to seek out a financial advisor or a mortgage professional as early on in the process as possible, because the sooner they start a savings plan, the quicker they're going to build that down payment they require. It's important to have as big a down payment as possible, because the more equity you have in the home, the smaller the mortgage payments will be. This makes financial management much easier and doesn't stress a person out as much.
The main piece of advice we were given when we decided to buy a home was to make sure that we could pick a location that suited our affordability. With our income, we couldn't afford to live in a major city, so we decided to look elsewhere. And another large piece of advice we were given was to save as much as we could for that down payment, because there are a lot of costs associated with it, so every little penny counts.
Some of the things we did to save for our down payment was we spent more time inside. We didn't go out to the movies as much. We didn't go out for dinner as much. I picked up some extra shifts at work and I got another job, so all that extra income really helped saving.
When we were purchasing our home, we weren't able to come up with 20% for our down payment, but we were able to use mortgage default insurance, and that way we only had to come up with 5% of the purchase cost as our down payment, and that allowed us to get into the house much sooner.
I would advise first-time home buyers looking to build equity in a home to consider mortgage default insurance. Essentially, this is a product that allows a home buyer to put a much smaller down payment down when getting a mortgage. For example, traditionally banks look for 20%. With this product, people can put as little as 5% down and still have the same competitive interest rate as those who put down 20%. When a first-time home buyer applies for mortgage insurance, we're essentially looking at three things. The first is their credit history, normally reflected in their credit score. Then we would consider payment history. How well have they paid their bills in the past? Have they paid them on time? And then thirdly, we're going to consider employment. What level of income do they have to put towards the mortgage payment? How stable has their employment been? How long have they been employed?
When we finally had enough money for our down payment, there was a massive sense of relief. We were very excited, and then a big rush of emotions came right after as well. We were nervous to move in, we were excited to move in, we knew there was a whole lot of work ahead of us, but we were also proud that we were new homeowners and we had something that was going to be our own. The main piece of advice that we pass on to our friends looking to buy their first homes is just you need to save, you need to budget, you need to understand all of the costs involved, and there's going to be times where you need to cut back on your activities, on your entertainment and things like that, but in the end it's going to be worth it when you have your own home.
One of my favorite things to do on my day off is to find a local farmer's market and select fresh produce. And that's exactly what Italian foodie Shanti Accardi did before she headed home to prepare some tasty recipes.
When it comes to simple and delicious Italian meals, it starts with fresh quality ingredients. And nothing compares to your local market to select the finest. I'm Shanti Accardi, and when I invite friends and family over, whether it's a casual dinner or a big celebration, I like to impress them with some classic yet simple Italian dishes using fresh mozzarella. One of the best things about Italian cooking is most recipes only require a few key ingredients, like tomatoes, fresh cheese, olive oil, and basil. The key is to buy them fresh, and it's important to make sure you use top-notch ingredients. When you're only using a few, you need to use the very best. When it comes to selecting the perfect tomato, there are certain things you should look and feel for. Tomatoes should be free of blemishes, bruises, and a deep dark red in color. Tomatoes are often picked green and ripen in transit. These tomatoes tend to be bland in flavor, so buy local tomatoes from a farmer's market or vine ripened for a tastier tomato. A good tomato should be firm enough to resist pressure, but not so hard that it doesn't react to your touch. How heavy is it? A juicier tomato will be more dense. Smell the tomato. It should have a strong, sweet, earthy odor. The more fragrance, the more flavor. Now off to find some more ingredients for my family feast. It's known as a caprese salad in English, but in Italian it's called insalata caprese, originating from the island of Capri. It's served as a starter and antipasto, instead of alongside a meal, which is more typical in Italy. This is such a simple salad, which is why it's so important to use fresh ingredients. And that's why I always choose Galvani fresh mozzarella. And you can grab it from your favorite cheese store. fresh mozzarella is the key to this delicious salad. Galbani fresh mozzarella is an artisanal cheese produced in the Fior di Latte tradition for over a century. It's Italy's favorite brand. It has been my personal family's favorite brand ever since I can remember. When I was a little girl, I'd come home after playing with the other children in the neighborhood, and my mom and my nonna would be preparing insalata caprese. And I remember going up to my nonna, looking up at her, "Nonna!" And my mom would be like, you're gonna spoil her appetite for dinner. And my nonna would be like, "It's okay, she liked the mozzarella." And I always have. Delizioso. Another delicious yet simple recipe using many of the same ingredients is bruschetta, made with Galbani fresh mozzarella and pesto. Bruschetta is another antipasto dish that has a long heritage in Italy. When Italian mothers had bread left over at the end of the day, they would save the crust and extra pieces and prepare bruschetta. By toasting and adding garlic and olive oil, the bread is flavorful and perfectly suited for your favorite toppings. Next, we're going to put the Galbani fresh mozzarella. The beauty about cooking is you can get creative. And that's what makes it fun. Due to the size of these crostini, I'm using cherry tomatoes. But if you had larger bread crusts or pieces, you could use larger tomatoes. Add a little bit of salt and pepper. This is going to be so good. And now we're going to be melting that delicious fresh mozzarella. As a final touch, garnish your bruschetta with fresh basil. Your guests will be so impressed.
Thanks for watching For Your Life. For more information about the products we featured or to be on the show, visit foryourlife.ca. I'm Stacey Engelhardt. See you next time.